Welcome to the English Box. Today we are going to talk about the future perfect simple tense. So let's begin by looking at some examples. Here we have a dialogue between a teacher and a student. So the teacher says to the student, "Have you done your homework?" And the pupil replies, "Sorry sir, I didn't have time, but I promise I'll have done it by tomorrow morning." Now the teacher isn't very impressed and replies, "You're going to have finished it by tomorrow morning? I don't believe you for a second. There's an awful lot of work to do." Can you see any examples of the future perfect simple in this dialogue? There are two examples. The first example is, "I'll have done it by tomorrow," and the second example is, "You're going to have finished it by tomorrow." So let's look at the structure of the future perfect simple. We begin with the subject, then we have the auxiliary verb will, followed by have, and the main verb in past participle form. So for example, "I will have seen him." In negative, you simply add not to the auxiliary verb will. So you can say, "I won't have seen him," or "I will not have seen him." And finally, for a question, you simply invert the auxiliary verb and the subject. So the auxiliary verb comes first. For example, "Will you have finished by then?" Just as in the future simple, in the future perfect simple, you can also use "to be going to" in the auxiliary form or auxiliary verb. So you can use will or you can use "be going to." "Be going to" is a little bit more informal, but the meaning of the sentence doesn't change. So for example, "I will have finished my homework by 8 o'clock this evening," and "I'm going to have finished my homework by 8 o'clock this evening" has the same meaning. So we've looked at the structure. What about the use? The future perfect simple is used to describe an action that is going to finish before a certain point in the future. So on the diagram in front of you, you have an action represented by the black box. This is you doing your homework. And two future reference points. My mother arriving home with the green box, and the blue box, 5 o'clock tomorrow. So the first sentence reads, "I will have done my homework by 5 o'clock tomorrow." This means my homework is finished before 5 o'clock. So the reference point, 5 o'clock, the action, doing my homework. This action is finished before 5 o'clock. I will have done my homework by 5 o'clock tomorrow. The second sentence, "I will have done my homework when my mother arrives home." My homework is finished before my mother arrives home. Okay, so the time clause is in present simple and the main clause there in the future perfect simple. Similarly, you could also say, "I'm going to have done my homework by the time my mother arrives home." Okay, so now you know the structure and the use. It's your turn. So I'd like you to write 3 sentences in the comments section describing what you will have done by 6 o'clock tomorrow. "I will have cooked a meal," "I will have played football," and "I'm going to have met up with some mates of mine."